What's up, everybody? I'm back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing my Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 2 reaction review. This one will be for The Walking Dead, obviously Season 8, Episode 2, titled The Damned. Now, this episode I didn't love, alright? I'll be honest. They play with some time a little bit, which is okay. You know, you just start the episode out of place, but by the end of the episode you know what the start was, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. But that's okay. The thing that kind of took me off was they do a lot of jumping back and forth from group to group to group to group to group, and I get why they do it. It's to try and keep you disoriented. However, what that leads to is just you not feeling the tension. You're not feeling the actual fear that you're supposed to be feeling for these characters because you never get any time to realize what their full situation is. You don't ever find out the full scope of their story and what they're dealing with because you're doing so much jumping back and forth that it loses something. And I find it sad the way they're doing this all-out war is just not living up to the comic to me. I don't know. I still have faith. I really like the first episode of this season. This episode I just didn't think was fantastic. It's not a bad episode. I liked it. There's just some big problems with it. And another one of the big problems that I've had with last episode as well, whoever's directing these episodes needs to stop directing these episodes. This episode and last episode had a very sitcom feel to me, and I talked about this last review, where the camera just does a lot of moving and shaking and zooming in. It's almost filmed the same way that The Office was filmed. I don't like it. It needs to go. I want some stable shots so I can actually tell what's happening. I don't need to be zooming in and being so dramatic and just cheesy. The Walking Dead has never been like this before. Never. I've never had this problem with The Walking Dead until just this season. And I really hope they fix it in the coming episodes because it's a big problem. Every single time it cut back to Aaron's storyline this episode, the directing and the way it was filmed took me out of it. And honestly, I wish we had just gotten the Ezekiel storyline, Aaron's storyline, Rick's storyline. I don't like it being all intertwined because that makes you feel the impact less. I mean, they can cut it at some parts and have it be like a block of Ezekiel, a block of Aaron, a block of Rick, and cut back and forth. But don't have it just be 5-second clip of Aaron, 5-second clip of Ezekiel, 10-second clip of Rick, cut back, cut back, cut back, cut. It just gets distracting. The only time I think The Walking Dead really did that successfully was the season 5 finale. You were cutting back to Glenn's storyline in the woods with Nicholas. You were cutting back to Rick with the walkers and Gabriel with the walker and Deanna and her meeting. And there was so much going on, but it worked so well. There's something wrong with the way I don't know what it is that's taking me out, but there's something wrong with the way they're doing it. I can't pin it yet. Maybe I'll have to watch the episodes a whole bunch more to figure it out, but there's something wrong with it, and I don't like it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the episode, because the actual content of the episode is very good. So if I was going to talk about the story here, I would be talking about it's pretty fantastic. You know, we get in the all-out war finally. Ezekiel's stuff this episode, let's be honest, all of us, let's be honest, it's kind of lame. He doesn't do anything, but it does set up really nicely for comic fans know what's up for what happens next, and what happens next is going to be, hopefully they do it well, and it's going to be hopefully pretty shocking. Now with Aaron's storyline, most people know where that's going. Again, comic fans, we can probably pin it on where that's going as well, but you know, that was a pretty good battle, I guess. Once again, the directing just kind of ruined it for me, but I still get it. The content of the battle and what was actually happening, it was interesting and it was exciting. And then if you were going to talk about Rick's storyline, awesome. Rick's always, any scene Rick's in is always great. There's never a bad Rick scene, I don't think. So even in this episode, every time we cut back to Rick's storyline, I was like, yeah, this is great. Oh, and I also totally forgot about a full entire storyline. I kind of grouped it in there with Ezekiel's. No, it's not. Jesus' storyline was fairly interesting. Morgan's side of that storyline was way more interesting than anything that happened with Jesus, but Jesus' story does set up nicely for what could be a very interesting turn of events that is very different from the comics. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens from this point with that whole story arc. Again, I've always been saying this. I hate Tara. Even in this episode, she was kind of getting on my nerves. But also, Jesus, surprisingly, was getting on my nerves. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything. But if you've seen the episode, you know what I'm going to be referring to. Because like I said last review, I do try and keep these reviews spoiler free. There's a part when Jesus has a guy and he could kill him, and you're like, just do it. But he doesn't, and he just doesn't and doesn't and doesn't over and over and over again. And Tara's there egging him on, like, please just kill him. But Tara could also easily just kill him at any point. There's no explanation for why Tara doesn't. When she clearly wants the guy to be dead, she just stands around and doesn't do anything. So that bothered me, but Tara always bothers me. Aaron, like I said, his whole stuff, it was alright. Ezekiel's stuff, okay. I like Ezekiel, and it does set up nicely for what's going to happen next. And then Rick's stuff, always awesome. And the ending of Rick's stuff was spoiled for me in a sense. I'm not going to ruin it for any of you guys, but I was on Instagram, and there's a lot of people heavily hinting at what was going to happen in tonight's episode, which just goes to show, if you're a Walking Dead fan and you follow Walking Dead accounts, don't go on Instagram on Sundays, because people just decide, the episode airs tonight, whatever. If I post a spoiler, no one's going to care, but I care, and it bothers me every single time. And it's like, you could unfollow those accounts, but they do post other stuff that I like to see. It's just, I guess I got to stay off on Sundays until after the episodes, because people like to spoil stuff. But overall, once again, this was a decent episode. It has goods and bads. I did a lot more complaining this episode than probably praising, kind of. But that's not like me saying that the episode was terrible. That's just me saying that in this episode that I thought was okay, there was a little bit more bad than I thought there was good, and that's a result of the quality, not the content, I guess. The content is very good. Again, I really like what they're doing with the story. It's the way that they're showing the story and the way that they're filming it and it's being presented that I'm a little bit taken off by and don't like. Once again, I don't rate the episodes in these reviews. If I ever do get time to do my breakdowns, I promise I'll do my best, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just pick like the best details from last episode and throw them in this episode's breakdown, or I could just wait for the whole mid-season to end and be like, here's top 10 details from every episode. I don't know, something like that. Maybe I'll just do that, top 10 like missable moments from every episode, top 10 things you missed, that kind of thing. That actually sounds like a good idea. I think I might just do that, because my actual episode review breakdowns that I do, those always get flagged by MC and deleted because you showed too many pictures of what happens in our episode. Like, screw you guys, it's a picture, cry about it. Whatever, we'll see what happens. I'll really try, I promise. I'm going to try and grind through school stuff as fast as possible this week so that I can actually focus on videos. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. D-Man.